Thought we'd start this next bit up here. It's a hell of a walk. My dry cleaners got their work cut out. It's a great bridge. Wouldn't want to have to paint it every day, though. You did, didn't you, Hogs? Still up here, you probably thought you were on top of the world. Did that inspire you to take the world on, make the world laugh? First on television, then the movies. Certainly inspired me as a young bloke, mate. Seen a guy like you, looks like you hadn't changed a thing. Same bloke that was up here painting, cracking jokes. Everyone loved you. They still do, buddy. You like this bridge, you're an icon. World famous, Hogs. World famous.
Hello, I'm Shane Jacobson, and it's my pleasure to be presenting the Longford Lyell Award, our Academy's most prestigious award. It celebrates those who've made a truly outstanding contribution to Australia's screen culture. Tonight, we're celebrating a man who's not only changed the way we see ourselves, but also the way the rest of the world views us. The way I see it, you can neatly divide Australian comedy as before and after Paul Hogan hit our screens. Now, Paul Hogan never set out to be an entertainer, but a chance to have a laugh saw him enter a talent show. And not too much later, he had his own national comedy show written and performed by Paul Hogan.
We've tried to put together a show for you tonight that has the pace, excitement and glamour of the ABC weather forecast. It still has the dignity, the class and the good taste of The Price is Right.
Hi, Hogs. You might not want to remember this, but we first met when we were in our 30s. We were brash and bold and fearless in those days. Kerry Packer and John Cornell put us together to do a series of Paul Hogan shows for the Nine Network. Hogs, I can honestly say that I've never worked with anybody who was so cool under pressure. You're the total professional. I don't think we ever had an argument.
Oh, you see that?
What?
Bloke just walked past the door, right? We didn't know they had that in Australia.
What?
Leprosy. Oh, excuse me, mate, you dropped something.
Hogs, what I like about you most is that in all these years, with all this fame, you've never changed. What you see is what you get with you, Hogs. Congratulations on this award. I know it's going to be very special for you, and I also know that right now, you're probably, most of all, looking forward to a smoko. See you, mate.
Hello, I'm Delvine Delaney. Thank you. My old mate Hogs had lofty ambitions. He just wanted to make people laugh. And for nearly 2 decades, he tickled our funny bones, honest and authentic, a comic for the common man. But there's another reason to honour Hogs tonight, and that's his sense of a fair go. From defending contestants on New Faces to receiving a bravery award for a rescue on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, Hogs fostered a fair go. Freely donating his time for the tourism ads in America, he tickled their funny bones too. Fair goes and funny bones, and a fine human being. Good on you, Hogs.
You'll have the time of your life in Australia. Of course, we talk the same language. Although you lot do have a funny accent. Oh, before you rush out to book your Aussie holiday, call this toll-free number for your free Aussie holiday book. Come on, come and say good day. I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you. Come and say good day.
Hello, I'm John Brown. I'm not an actor. I was one of those silly buggers that became a politician. And I was the minister that took the plunge and decided against all the critics that Paul Hogan was our man to sell Australia to the world. And what a good decision that was. Just cast your mind back to the early 80s. Sydney had not one decent hotel. The tourism industry basically didn't exist. And this man, by virtue of his personality, his incredible capacity to cheer the Americans up, to make them laugh, to make them get on a plane and come here, which became a problem. All these Americans started coming here. We didn't have any hotels. But we built them pretty quickly. I got to tell you that when we first wanted to show this ad in America, Qantas said, oh, no, we don't want any part of this bloke with this larrikin. So we did it without them, didn't we? A fortnight later, they crawled back, didn't they? And they changed their mode, you know. Koalas don't fly aeroplanes anymore. So no wonder the Yanks didn't want to come here. Who'd want to get on a bloody plane with a koala flying it? So this bloke has done absolute wonders for Australia. This industry now employs 3.5 million people. From nothing, he transformed this industry into one of the best industries in Australia, something of which we can all be proud. And he did it for nothing. He didn't want any money. We used to pay his cheque to Variety Club, of which he was the first barker. So it's been a great pleasure for me to be associated with Paul, and I think every Australian needs to stand up and cheer this fella, because he's not just a comic, he is an Australian giant.
In 1986, Paul wrote and starred in Australia's most successful film ever, Crocodile Dundee. Thank you very much. The following year, he won a Golden Globe for his portrayal of Mick Dundee. The 3 films in the franchise are more than just great stories. So many of the lines that Paul wrote have now become part of our language.
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
If Mick wants his clothes back, he can climb down there and get his bloody self.
That's not Mick.
Of course not. There's Mick over there.
G'day, how you going, mate? First of all, congratulations. I'm glad that this country's finally recognised the fact that you are the biggest bloody larrikin this country's ever produced. I mean, there's larrikins, there's Wall, and then there's you. So, if you want your bloody award, you can climb up there and get it your bloody self. Cheers, mate. Have a great night, and congratulations.
Nowadays, there is a well-worn path between Australia and LA, but one man opened the way, making it easier for all the other entertainers who followed in his wake. Many people claim to have put Australia on the map. We're always there, to be honest, but Paul sure as shit showed the world where we were, who we are, and what we were like. And they loved it. In 1987, Paul co-hosted the Academy Awards, the very first non-American to do so. Have a look.
G'day, viewers. This is my first time at the Academy Awards. I usually watch it on television, and for that reason I've been asked to come out here and speak to my peers on behalf of the television audience. G'day, peers. Winners, when you make your speech, it's a good tip to remember the 3 G's. Be gracious, be grateful, get off.
Hello, I'm not Delvine Delaney. I had the pleasure of sharing the screen with Paul in the comedy Strange Bedfellows. However, I'm here to talk about another side of Hogs tonight. In 1974, Reg Grundy set about forming Variety, the children's charity in Sydney. Now, Reg asked Paul to become the first chairman, or as they're officially called in Variety, the chief barker. Now, Paul was loved by children of all ages and the perfect fit for a new charity dedicated to helping kids doing it tough. Paul always gave his time to Variety, whether he was donating a sunshine coach, playground equipment, or hosting glamorous gala dinners. At one dinner in 1975, he helped raise over $100,000, an incredible fundraising amount for that time. Now, without Paul's generosity and commitment in those early years, Variety, the children's charity, would not be what it is today in Australia, granting more than $1 million a month nationally to Australian kids in need. Like the song says, from little things, big things grow.
Paul Hogan didn't just pave the way for Australian comedians overseas. He hacked his way through the jungle, made it to the other end, went back, widened the path, bought some stones, and then paved the way for all of us. I think as Australian comedians start to make their way around the world and have success around the world, it's no exaggeration to say that we are able to do it purely because Paul Hogan did it first. So on behalf of us all, Hogs, thanks, mate. We owe you one.
Mate, joining you in the film Charlie and Boots will always be a highlight in my career, there's no doubt about it. While I'm so proud to call you a friend, I will always be your fan, and like so many comedians in Australia, I am forever your student. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, don't do it, Shane, don't cry. Please welcome to the stage, oh shit. See, you bastard. Our newest recipient of the Longford Lyell Award, Mr. Paul Hogan.
I've got 30 seconds. Yeah, good luck with that. This is probably the worst roast I've ever been to. How am I going to insult anybody when they're all saying nice things about me? I don't go to awards much. I've won the odd one here and there. I think they're good, harmless fun. I never cry. In fact, as he mentioned, I once won a Golden Globe Award as Best Actor. And foreign press had never met me before, and they met me after I got the award. And they had a quick meeting. And they said, did you meet Paul Hogan? Yeah. And he played Mick Dundee, right? Yeah. The only difference between him and Dundee is Dundee wears a hat. And I said, we've just given a Best Actor award to a guy for wearing a hat. That's true, but I didn't give it back to him anyway. And I did have the great honour of opening the Oscars in 1986 when I was a star. And I made a speech and took the mickey out of the whole thing, of course. Not as far as Ricky Gervais goes. I love him. But I did take the mickey out of it, and as a consequence, it's been 30 years and I've never been invited back. So I don't want to say too much to ruin it when I'm getting this award. I suppose I do that thing where you thank everyone you know, and the audience goes, oh, God, who's Barry Bison anyway? But I did. I mean, this Crocodile Dundee started out as a sketch in my head. I was walking through New York and I'd sort of written the longest sketch I'd ever written by the time I got back to the hotel. And then I come back here and I got hold of John Cornell and Peter Feynman and Ken Shady, and Russell Boyd and Brownie and Branzer. They're wonderful technicians we have in Australia, world class. And we made a movie, and it was just sort of like, oh, I've got this idea for a sketch. Get all my mates together and we'll make a movie. And turned out I'm probably the world's leading one-hit wonder. And, but, you know, it was a mighty hit. I'll quit while I'm ahead.
He was supporting 5 kids and penniless.
Funny doesn't pay the rent.
This should have been the rest of his life.
Look out, Hollywood. Here come the Hogan.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
The drama event of the year is the true story of an Aussie legend.
You're a funny bugger, aren't you? Had me moments, yeah.
Hogs, the Paul Hogan story in 2017 on 7.